Burlington Select Board meeting for August 30th. Please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance for me. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. First item on the agenda is item 227. It's a new public hearing for an approval of a new alcohol license. Gentlemen, if you would approach and then identify yourselves to the board.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am Attorney Eugene Richard, representing Fogo de Chão, and with me is a proposed manager for the restaurant, Raido Ramos.
Thank you. Gentlemen, are we looking for a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 500 to open. I'll also need a motion to accept the legal notice as printed.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 500, the legal notice has been approved as printed. All right, Mr. Richard or Richards?
Richard.
Richard, do you want to just give I know we were here a couple of weeks ago, if you want to just, give us a brief synopsis of your application?
Yes, I'll be as brief as I can, but I understand this is a separate hearing, so I should
Right.
get everything onto the record. As the board will recall, this matter has been before the board really for quite a while. If you include COVID, there was various continuances. We were in previously to request transfer of the Besito license, and that has been changed, altered. We've filed a separate application, a new one, for a special, I'll call it a special license. I've heard it called a mall license, but in any event, the new legislation so this would be for a new license, not a transfer. And we've been here before the board recently, within the past month or two, on first the transfer and now for this new license. My client and I thank you for your prior and continuing consideration in the matter. Also for scheduling this hearing on an expedited basis to get us in as the restaurant is under construction and the last I had heard planning to open end of September, beginning of October, obviously pending all approvals and construction. So we are seeking tonight the approval of the board for a special legislation mall all alcoholic beverages restaurant license. The licensee is, the entity is Fogo de Chão Churrascaria Burlington LLC. And as I mentioned, with me is Raido Ramos, who is the proposed on-premises manager. So Fogo de Chão Burlington will be part of a corporate family of restaurants of that Fogo de Chão name. They are Brazilian steakhouses. They have they have over 50 locations, really internationally, mostly in the U.S., and one in Boston's Back Bay that I seem to recall most or all of the board is familiar with, and that will be a similar operation with, slightly different interior. But basically, Fogo de Chão specializes in continuous service, so of skewered meats predominantly. There's a full-service salad bar, but then the meat is really the centerpiece.
Fantastic?
Pardon?
Would you like to use the word fantastic?
It is fantastic. It's wonderfully, basically, the waiters are gauchos, or dressed as gauchos. They do the cooking on skewers, and then they walk through the restaurant. Each guest who is not strictly for the salad bar, but also participating in the meat. It's one price. You get a disc, one side is green, one side is red. When you go green, Gauchos start bringing you different, whatever their skewer happens to be, and there's like 15 different meats, lamb, beef, different cuts, chicken, pork, I believe. So when it's green, Gauchos will come, slice the meat right with the guests have tongs, so there's no touching. But, and you can eat, it's all you can eat for the customer for one price, as well as the food, and there's also desserts and sides, breads, etc. The restaurant offers an extensive wine list. They have private seating areas for parties or special events, a full-service bar as well. Mr. Ramos has been brought in from Chicago, the Chicago Fogo, where he previously worked to specifically open and manage the Burlington location. He is now a resident of Burlington, has several years' experience as a manager with the Service of Alcohol in Chicago. He is TIPS trained and has familiarized himself with the local Burlington as well as Massachusetts rules and regulations pertaining to the sales and service of alcohol. So accordingly, subject to questions, we respectfully request the board's approval.
Thank you, Mr. Richard. Because this is a public hearing, I'm going to ask if there's anybody in the public that would like to comment or has any questions regarding this application.
While you're waiting for that response, may I pose a question, Mr. Chairman?
Mr. Hogan?
The maximum occupancy load for the exterior is 117 seats. Do you have, and I'm sure you do, but I'm going to ask the question anyway, plans to protect the sale of alcohol from people outside of that exterior seating area? And do people get to the exterior seating by going through the interior part of the restaurant?
Yes, you must come to the interior of the restaurant to get.
I'm sorry.
Speak up a little bit.
Yes, you must come to the interior of the restaurant to get access to the patios.
Okay. And there's always,
And we have always monitoring, like service monitoring, and the managers on the sites also like taking care of that.
okay, all right. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Have we heard anything from the public? With no input or request from the public, I'll be looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'd like to make a motion to close the public
Mr.
hearing.
Randy's made that. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Hogan? All those in favor of closing the public hearing?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500, to close the public hearing. Okay, I usually start with, when it comes to liquor licenses, I like to start with the subcommittee. Mr. Hogan already spoke. Mr. Morandi?
No, I'm just happy it worked out, so I have nothing to add to this.
Mr. Runyon?
No, sir.
Mr. Priest?
No, sir.
Okay, and I have no comments as well. With that being said, I'll be looking for a motion to approve or deny this application.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve new special registration alcohol for Photo Chow, is that how you say it? Am I saying it right?
Forward your show.
Yep, okay. Burlington LLC, doing business as Photo Chow, 75 Middlesex Turnpike, Burlington, Mass.
Good. Second, seconded by Mr. Hogan. All those in favor of the license application, please say aye.
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 Opposed, abstained, 500. Now, I'll be looking for a motion to approve the manager.
I'll make the motion for the new manager, Mr. Ramos, as the new manager for Fogo de Chao.
Okay?
Second that.
Seconded by Mr. Morandi. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 500 as well. Congratulations.
Very good.
Very much.
Thank you very much.
Side note, I'd like to say thank you for all your help during this, to get this through, to get it in, to talk to them all. The town's very excited. I got a lot of phone calls about this afterwards, that we were doing the right thing. I'm glad it worked out for everybody, and I cannot wait to your opening. You know,
Appreciate
you know,
that,
Let
and,
us know, so I know what the day is.
From your lips to the ABCC's ears.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, next item on the agenda is number 228. It's an approval to add a list of warrant articles to the September 27th town meeting. We have an amended list that was presented as an addition to it. Everybody's had a chance to review it. We're only looking to vote to add it to the warrant. We're not discussing the individual articles. This is just to add it to the warrant.
So I'll make a motion to approve, to add this to the warrant article.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. 500 to add the amended list to the town warrant. Okay, item number 229 is approval, use of the town common. Mr. Hogan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, we've been talking about this, but this is the first we've actually approached the board for permission, and hopefully the board will approve it after all the work we've done. This is the 20th anniversary of that horrid day back in 2001. The town, on smaller occasions, have always remembered this day through all of the anniversaries with the fire and the police and the town hall employees. And then every 5 years, we've had a special reason to have a ceremony. And this is the 20th year. We've got a couple of things going on. We have a name that we're adding. A young man who graduated from Burlington High School, was a member of the New York State Police for about 16 years, was working the ground zero after the two buildings came down during search and rescue. And he was one of the more than 270 people who have since died from cancer from that day. He's from Burlington. His parents still live in Burlington. Ryan Fortini, there's going to be a plaque going up on the flagpole, the wall, that we have other names. And we'll place a wreath and recognize him as one of ours who gave his life in service, not only to his country, but to his community and to the state of New York. So there'll be part of the ceremony wrapped around that. We also have a patio that is being built around the two pieces of artifact that we got years ago. Two pieces of artifact that were under the two buildings when they came down. Rails from the railway system that was underneath the buildings. So we're making a big deal about unveiling that on that day. It's important to remember also that a young Marine died because of what happened on that day. Gregory McDonald, Lance Corporal Gregory McDonald, passed away while serving in Operation Iraqi Freedom. So we've got a number of people, a number of wreaths to place, plus we're honoring not only the hundreds of firefighters and police officers that died that day, we are also honoring our firefighters and police officers who, when there's danger, they run to the danger. They do that to protect us on a regular basis. So we have a number of things, a number of speakers going on that day. I'm looking forward to, as always, being part of that. There are an awful lot of people. The rails went in 2017, and there are a number of people who were part of that, helped us with that, who are either no longer with us or have retired, no longer with us because they died and are retired. But Fred Salvucci and his family were a big part of digging the hole and putting the rails in permanently. Rich Reed and the DPW staff were a big part of that also. Rich Cody, Brendan Egan, a former town administrator, John Petrin, was a big part of it. A retired building inspector, John Clancy. All the different members of the Board of Selectmen who aren't with us at this time. A woman from New York, Amy Pasaic, who was extremely helpful and generous to us. When I finally got in touch with her, with all the people that are always calling, she happened to pick up the phone the day I called and was able to supply us with one of those rails. when Ed McLean called her about making the arrangements, she had another one, so we got the 2 rails from this woman who was very generous. The former fire chief, Steve Yetman, was part of it. The new fire chief, Mike Patterson, Ed McLean and I actually traveled to New York to get those rails. The former police chief, Mike Kent, was part of it. Sandy Madigan and Betty from the office, Steve Doyle, was a big part of that. So there's an awful lot of people that have been helping us along the way with this project. And we have more people that are going to be thanked and are part of what they're doing. So I'll turn it over to Joe, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan. Mr. Randy?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, thank you, Bob. So right now, as you can see out in the common right now, there's some work being done. You see stone out there and some wood being up, the new patio that's going in. So I would like to thank not only the people that helped us at the beginning of this, but now that it's gonna be a whole different look to it, the Bagney family. So there's Dick Senior, who owns Jody Construction, and Rich Bagney, who owns Bagney Electrical. Those 2 guys have been over there with their crews to rewire it, to put lighting in, and to set up the forms and the foundations. All their laborers, cost material-wise, whether it's the stone, the cement, the wood, all the stuff that's gone into that is all a free donation from that family to this town. They've lived there their whole lives. It's something they wanted to do and give back, so that's what they're doing. So I would like to thank them right now, and I'm sure that the day of, we'll be thanking them again. And that's a huge commitment to do all of that stuff for free. And he's paying his guys to be out there working, but he's not charging us, so that's huge. That's really big. So I'd like to thank the Bagney family in general for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moretti. Mr. Moretti, any comment? Or
No, I'm good, Jim, thanks.
Rick, anything?
No, not this time, thank you.
I have nothing as well. Okay, that's all, then I'll be looking for a motion to approve the use of the town common for the morning of September 11th, 2021.
Do we have a time?
I just said morning only because there's setup and cleanup, and I didn't want, the time is 9 to 11 for the ceremony, but I'd like to keep it just to the morning of the September 11th, because I don't know what time they'll be setting up, what time they'll be breaking it down. So I think if we just say morning of September 11th.
Oh,
We'll probably, there'll be people setting up, so if we can do it like 8 to 12. So we'll
I
set
was
it.
just curious, that's
Yeah.
all, for the public to know, stuff
Yeah,
like that.
well, we're looking at 9 o'clock. Once everybody's in place, once we think everybody's set, we'll start. And, you know, we try to keep it to an hour. I don't think we're gonna be that fortunate this year. We'll be a little, run over a little bit.
So I'll be looking for a motion to approve either time specific or the morning of.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve the comment on 9/11 for the morning.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 500 to approve the use of the town common.
Thank you.
Approval of minutes for August 9th.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion that we approve those regular meeting minutes for August 9, 2021.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed, abstained? 500 on the minutes approval. Subcommittees, Bob, anything?
No.
Nick?
Nope.
Yeah, real quick, I got it very quick. As you know, we run a hunting program here in the town on the landlocked forest. Hunting season opens October 4th for archery, which the landlocked forest is strictly archery. There is no rifles allowed in the town of Burlington, or shotguns, or handguns, or anything else doing with a firearm. So applications are online with the conservation. Get them in. There's a couple of things, they got a proficiency test, but I just want to let the people know that are starting to walk the forest. Giving you a heads up, October 4th is hunting season. So there'll be gentlemen out there with a bow and arrow, hunting from an elevated platform, and they need to carry a permit with them. And if any issues at all, please contact me personally. That's
Thank
it.
you, Mr. Runyon. Mr. Runyon,
No, nothing.
the only thing I have is that time of year, schools are in the process of opening, so just, everybody just be cautious of, you know, children in the roadway and people getting used to the school buses or walkers, so it's that time of year again. Mr. Sagarino?
I don't have anything further, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we have no old business, new business. Citizens' time, is there anybody out there for citizens' time? Seeing anything?
No hands up.
Okay, nobody for citizens' time. In that case, I'll be looking for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn?
It's seconded.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained. 500 to adjourn.